What's up, YouTube? Today we have a different top 5. We have a special guest. So today we have a top 5 Madlittlepixel's top 5 games that are typically on most of the images that you've worked with or you've put on your channel.
Yep.
Some of the similar ones I've reviewed on my channel. And some games to check out. If you haven't checked them out, these are some of your favorites. You're kind of your go-to games.
Oh, yeah.
So first we have Snow Brothers for the Nintendo Entertainment System. So tell us about this game.
Snow Brothers also, it's an arcade game as well. Released on, the arcade, then it was ported to the NES. There's also a Game Boy port. So back in the day, if you had a Game Boy, if you were into this, didn't want to dump quarters in the arcade, Game Boy was where to go. Cool game. Nintendo, it came out. There's also a Mega Drive port, which is probably the ultimate version, but it was not released in the US, Japan only. But really, I grew up playing this in the arcade, and when it was released on the NES, it was like, oh my God. Back in the day when there were arcade games that you just sunk quarters into and they released them on home consoles, it just blew your mind. And I had to have it. I just love this game. The whole purpose of it, the point is, there's Tom and Nick, the little snowmen dudes. Their little princess girlfriends get kidnapped. Yeah, they do look a little freaky. They look a little freaky there. Their girlfriends or whoever, they get kidnapped by some big bad guy. Typical, no crazy storyline. They never really.
And am I doing this right? You just gotta do that.
You go through, throw your snowballs at these guys. It's essentially a copy almost of like.
Am I dying when I do that?
No. You're not dying at all. It actually gives you a moment of invincibility.
I just died there.
Yeah, those guys shoot fireballs. The green dudes shoot fireballs. You got to watch out. But you're just essentially climbing the floors. You're moving up. Pretty cool game. I think there was 100 levels. Every 10 levels, there's a boss. Boom, kill those bad boys. Keep on progressing. Awesome game.
Does it is there an ending point?
Yes, the 100th level, you fight the bad guy. Pretty sure it was 100 levels. Could have been less, but I'm pretty sure it's 100 levels. Get to the top, fight the bad guy. I think there's some kind of curse or something going on that you're snowmen and then you get turned back.
Okay.
Something like that,
So, in number 4,
we got Blood Brothers, or Blood Bros, however you want to say it.
Blood Bros.
For the arcade.
So tell me, how do I play this game?
This game is kind of interesting. You're on that front plane and all the enemies are coming at you from the distance. The level has like a health bar. So essentially you're just trying to destroy everything, kill all the bad guys. You could throw your little grenades or dynamite.
Do you hit her?
You can.
Okay.
You get a
little show.
A nice little show there.
Do you watch Westworld?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. It kind of reminds me of that.
Yeah, there you go. So with this,
so this is how you dodge those, by the roll.
You roll. You have a button that you can throw your dynamite sticks at these guys. When there's these little pig dudes, little piggies run out. If you quickly shoot the little pigs, you'll get like different weapons and upgrades and stuff. No bacon, just you kill a pig, you get a gun. That's just how it works, man. Don't question it.
Pigs are always strapped, it makes sense.
They got to be, man. They don't want to be turned to bacon, so they got to be packing heat,
Okay, and then how many levels? When does it end? Does it ever end?
It does end. I'm not 100% on how many levels there are because each level is like multi. There's multiple levels per thing, so many.
Oh, he's got a
cool
dance though.
Yeah,
he's stoked.
He's stoked to get into it. So yeah, like stage 1-2. I believe there's probably like 4 parts to each stage. There might be like 5 or 6 stages. I'm not 100%. I've beaten this plenty of times. Just don't recall, but you'll get to an end boss. There's a boss at the end of each stage. I believe the first.
Oh, here's the bacon.
Yeah, there you go. Some dynamite and a gun. But you'll have like a little boss fight at the end. The first one's like a train. Essentially, you're just blowing up a train. Okay. But it's pretty fun, mindless fun.
It's pretty responsive with the D-pad too. Like a lot of these kind of games.
And it is a 2-player game, so it's definitely an awesome co-op game.
Yeah.
There's several games that are similar to this, but this one was always the one for me that I loved. It was
barrel. That barrel is more of a
block, yeah. That's why that little boulder in the corner. If it gets blowed up, you could hide behind it before it's blowed
nice.
up.
Yeah, so you can use those to your advantage.
Yeah.
In number 3,
we got Sunset Riders. One of my favorites. One of my all-time favorites. Released on Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, and it was originally an arcade game. Very awesome multiplayer game. The arcade version was 4 players. There were also 2-player options.
There's like a Western theme going on here.
Yeah. not a big Western guy. I just love these games, man.
Yeah.
Just love these games. But this one essentially, you know, it's going to be similar to playing like Metal Slug and whatnot. A very fun game. You got your pistol. You can get some upgrades.
I feel like his pistol shoots pretty fast for a revolver.
Yeah. I mean,
He's
but there's
got-
some awesome upgrades that you'll get. You go into these little doors sometimes. You know, you get your gun upgrade. You might get a little cool other things. The arcade version was a little more racy. You would get, you know, the little.
Am I messing?
drop.
Am I?
You got to jump up. Press up and jump.
Oh,
to
that's
bring
cool.
yourself up. Yeah, you can shoot that barrel, hit that guy. There's going to be, if somebody throws dynamite at you, you got to watch out. It's going to cause a fire. I think that's coming up.
And when was you said when was this released?
It was released, I want to say, in the early '90s.
Okay, so was it before Metal Slug?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
I need to throw that.
This was, I'm pretty positive before Metal Slug.
So Metal Slug, I bet, stole a lot of ideas from this, from the looks of it.
Well, yeah, you know, with SNK, you know, all the games they put out, you know, they were the main support of Neo Geo.
Oh,
Jump up,
right.
you got to jump up, or these cows are going to slaughter you, man.
Okay. You should have let
These
me.
bulls.
No. Oh. You can jump on him though. That's cool.
Yeah, you could jump on them. But yeah, very fun co-op
Look at that.
game.
Look at that. Look at him running. Whew.
Bam. Essentially, you know, there's.
Oh, I messed
You
up.
just got
He
killed.
died.
Yeah. Essentially, at the end of each level, there is a boss. It's pretty much, you know, there's
Is this,
bounties
is this
out.
the boss right here?
No, it's coming up pretty soon. The levels are fairly short.
Can you attack with this move?
No,
Oh, I gotta
it's
throw
just
that down.
just a dodge move. But yeah, you know, there's a boss at the end of each level. You're going out for these bounties against these guys, these little, you know, whatever. There's a reward offered to catch, you know, Simon Greedwell, whatever his name was. But you know, it's pretty fun. You know, each
Yeah.
boss, there's different strategies to it. It's a lot of cool stuff.
In number 2,
We got Bad Dudes. Bad Dudes, an arcade game.
Bad Company.
Yeah, it was also released on the NES. It might not be the most popular game. I know a lot of the games on my lists are, you know, they're fairly popular. It's probably one of the least popular, but it just there's a soft spot in my heart for this game.
Is that one guy, the martial arts guy?
Yeah, I think they're just trying to
Oh.
copy, like, I don't know, Bruce Lee or something.
No, the guy that does
What guy?
the dude who does the splits all the time.
No. I
No,
don't
okay.
think. No, this game, you know, people know this game though. You know, President, you know, Ronald Reagan, you know, in the arcade version. I don't think it says Ronald in here, but
Okay.
it might. But you know, you beat the game. You have a hamburger with the president. You know, that's the ending. Pretty neat stuff.
You've ruined it for everyone.
I ruined it for everybody, but it's not that big a secret. A lot
I
of
kind
people
of
know that.
want to beat it just to see
Just
the
to see
president
that.
eat a hamburger.
Yeah, there you go. So this
Or I
game,
can Google it.
this game is pretty clunky. It is
is.
pretty clunky. The arcade version is pretty clunky as well.
Oh, he's got like special moves.
Yeah, he's
though.
got some special moves. The arcade version, it's just a very...
Oh, does he nod? Look at that. If you press up, he nod. He does like a nod move like this.
Yeah, you're going to get slaughtered
If
pretty
you
quick.
press it fast enough, you can
There,
just like,
there you go. You're like, yeah. My whole thing was I played the crap out of this in the arcade and I spent way too much money on it. Couldn't beat it. Drove me freaking nuts. I wanted to beat it. It was released on the NES. Had to have it. Arcade game on your home console.
Do you eventually? Do you have to beat it like Contra, where you have to beat it with a certain amount of continues?
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's a cheat code or something.
I don't think I've ever used a cheat code in this game. There might be one that
You're
I'm
just
not
a
aware
purist
of.
on this.
You just have to get good. That's all this
And
game is.
what's like
just
your
getting
strategy
good.
to jump and punch?
No.
Is it
It's
more-
you have to know the attacks from these enemies.
Oh wow, you gotta
And just
adapt.
kind of be prepared because these guys throwing these ninja stars, these mofos with the swords wanting to do a little dive kick. This guy right here, he's the boss of this level. Boom, he's gonna be shooting fireballs. He's pretty
Is he drinking alcohol or?
something, man, something. But clunky game. I was just so committed to beating this that I had to have it. Bought it on the NES, got good at it, slaughtered it, and just it stuck with me over the years. And that's typically what happens.
Got him.
There you go.
Yeah.
Might not be the best game in the world. I'm bad, I think is what he says. I'm bad. But not the
You
best game in the world.
memorized it. You memorized it.
But, you know, those types of games, you know, they hold a soft spot in your heart, you know. So it's in my brain. I love this game.
Nice. In number 1, Madlittlepixel's top number 1 game.
It's going to be Final Fantasy II. As far as retro stuff goes, console stuff, arcade, you know, all combined. Final Fantasy II. In Japan, it was Final Fantasy IV. So now, the original release was released as 2 in the US. Awesome game. I love the story. I'm a huge RPG fan. Love Final Fantasy, the whole series. More so the earlier ones. A lot of people's top pick is going to be Final Fantasy 3 or 6, and definitely one of my favorite games in the world is Final Fantasy 6. But to edge it out RPG-wise, I had to have an RPG in this list. Final Fantasy 2/4 is going to be it. Just an awesome story. If you're into Star Wars, there's a lot of Star Wars, undertones to it and stuff like that. Very interesting game of betrayal and, the storyline and whatnot.
How long would it take somebody who's never beaten it before to beat it?
For the Super Nintendo version, now to not take too much time in this, but the Super Nintendo version...
Give us the short answer.
It's short. The Super Nintendo version is an easy game because the Japanese developers thought the Americans couldn't handle the intensity, so they dumbed it down quite a bit. This game, start to finish, if you were to just blaze through it, just a newcomer to it, it's pretty guided. There's some exploration and whatnot. You could definitely beat this in about 15 hours. So it's not anywhere near one of the longest Final Fantasies. Now, if you play the updated version that was released on the PlayStation 1, that does have the Japanese difficulty to it, and it does have the better translation.
Have you beaten that as well?
Yes.
Okay.
That one, you'll get, just as an example, this game, you'll get to the end of the game and your characters will be level 99. The PlayStation version, you can just play it the way you would play the Super Nintendo version, get to the end game, and only be like level 40 and not be powerful enough. So you have to, there's a lot more grinding in the difficult version.
Yeah.
A lot more grinding. So the Japanese difficulty version could take you double the amount of time.
Now, I've never played this game through. I've beaten Chrono Trigger, and I've beaten Mario RPG.
Awesome game.
And those are my two favorites for SNES, but I never played this one.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you compare those?
Different. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's a different time period here. This was very early on.
Okay.
This was, Squaresoft at the time didn't have a lot of releases out there. So this, Final Fantasy 1 was released on the NES, and that was kind of like they were going bankrupt, putting out, their final, game, they thought. So they named it Final Fantasy. This is it for us.
Yeah.
And it blew up.
Yeah.
So the series kept on going in Japan. This was one of the earlier releases on the SNES. So it was still kind of untested waters as far as the American, market goes, as far as Japanese role-playing games. So definitely Chrono Trigger, Super Mario RPG are going to be a lot more polished, beautiful games, a lot more depth and options to it than this. But it's one of those games, just there's a place in my heart for it, man. I can't lie. I love it, love the storyline, love the character development, love how it's written. Just an awesome game.
Yeah, nice. So there you have it, YouTube. Madlittlepixel's top 5 Raspberry Pi based games that you can find on almost any image.
Pretty much anybody's image.
Everyone's throwing the NES, the SNES, and then the basic arcade.
Yeah.
Typically will have that on there. Easy to play. Most of these games will run on Pi Zero too.
Oh yeah, most of these games
run
no
on
issue.
all the different Pis. Check these games out. You might have been missing out. Maybe you beat these games before and you need to revisit them. Well, I hope you liked this video. If you can smash that like button, I'd really appreciate it. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Subscribe to Madlittlepixel's channel if you haven't already. Links in the description. And there's going to be way more videos like this coming up. And we'll see you then.
Appreciate it, guys. Boom!